As you just heard a moment ago, my name is Devan Kelley. I currently live in Texas, which is where I've been for most of my life. I have not one, but two cats that I have successfully Stockholm syndromed into loving me. And a fun fact about me is that I have never, not once, murdered 26 people. Now listen. I realize that kind of makes it sound like I might have murdered 26 people. And it definitely doesn't help my case that I gave you a concerningly specific number of murders. But look, here's the thing. If all you have is somebody's name and state, you can probably find them on Google. My name and my state are very readily available. And if you combine the two into a Google search, you'll find me right there on the first page. Buried underneath the other Devan Kelley in Texas, who decided to put our name on the map by, you guessed it, brutally murdering 26 people. Do you know what happens when someone with your name in your state slaughters over 24 people? Well, lucky me, I know. I'll tell you exactly what happens. The morning after the other Devan Kelley's meltdown, I was at work like any other day when, out of nowhere, I received a 6 a.m. surprise visit from my vice president, otherwise known as my boss's boss's boss, a dude that I never interacted with. So you can imagine my surprise when he just randomly turns up at my desk. I assumed he was lost because there was no way he navigated through the slums of our building just to talk to me, but here he was. I looked up at him and the first thing he said was, "Oh my God, I am so glad you're here." And being the uncultured hillbilly that I am, I had no idea what he was talking about because I don't watch the news. There could be Russian tanks in my front yard tomorrow morning and I wouldn't know why they were there. Since I had no idea what he was talking about, I went into terrified corporate worker mode and started saying things like, yeah, of course I'm here, boss. Someone's got to add value for those shareholders and it might as well be me. He's like, did you not hear what happened? And so he goes on to tell me that he was watching TV with his wife the night before, and a breaking news report comes on and says, 26 people are dead in a Texas church shooting, and the suspect has been identified as Devan Kelley. He said he looked at his wife and he told her, I think that guy might work for me. And the more he talked, the more I realized that he was just here doing investigative work to see if he was going to have to deal with a PR nightmare that day. So while I'm flattered that he at least knew who I was when my name came up on the news, what was his plan if I was the shooter? He could have been my 27th victim for all he knew. So now I'm just sitting here thinking this guy is either incredibly brave or unbelievably stupid. Because who just goes and confronts a potential mass murderer in your office building without any kind of backup? Nobody was with him, and he was completely unarmed, which is kind of insulting now that I think about it, because I realize I'm not a big guy, but he could have at least grabbed a triple hole punch or something along the way, just in case things went south. But he was just like, no, this kid won't be a problem for me. It's also worth mentioning that those murders happened like 6 hours away from our office. So I guess he expected to turn the corner and see me just sitting there covered in blood and gunpowder, because there would have been no time to shower had I been rushing to wrap up the murders so I could clock in on time. As we're wrapping up our delightful morning chat, he's like, "Well, glad it wasn't you. See you later." And then off he goes. You know what happened next? Another person came to my desk, and then another, and then another. 17 people came to check on the potential mass murderer that day. So either I work with the bravest people on the planet, or all of my coworkers just have no desire to live. And while these lost souls are coming and going from my desk, I'm getting texts from my mom, and she's saying things like, "Devan, why am I hearing that you killed 26 people on the news?" And I always gotta mess with her, so I'm texting her back stuff like, "If you think that's bad, Mom, wait until you hear about the elementary school." Yeah, she was not a fan of that one, as you can imagine. So I get home from work that day, and I logged into Facebook on my desktop computer because apparently I'm 79 years old, and I noticed that I had a crazy amount of friend requests. And I'm just scrolling through them trying to figure out who all these people are, and then I started to realize that these are all people that I went to high school with that I have not kept in contact with. And then I started to think, well, are these scumbags trying to ride on my mass murder fame train? Are they thinking they're gonna get on some news outlet because we're connected on Facebook? These people wouldn't even let me sit with them at lunch and now they want to be friends? Yeah, right. If they want to be famous, they can go shoot up their own churches. Then I see Wendy's name in there, and I'm like, Wendy, you broke up with me for Jason in the 9th grade. You think we're gonna reconnect now? Yeah, good luck with your 6 kids in your minivan. I loved her, okay? She broke my heart. Oh, yeah, so that's the kind of day you can expect if this ever happens to you. So, yeah, I'm Devan Kelley. I'm the cat guy that lives in Texas, and fun fact about me is that I've never murdered 26 people.